What name is guy? Itauma. Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
20.
Yeah, 20 years. I think Itauma have big future.
Oleksandr Usyk's team has finally spoken out as speculation about the champion's next move continues to heat up in the...
Turkey's put out that he wants to see you fight Oleksandr Usyk next. Reaction to that?
I want to do it as well, but it's not in my hands, is it?
Would you fight him?
Of course.
Yeah.
No, man.
With a streak of major wins, including his knockout over Daniel Dubois to defend his undisputed heavyweight crown, Usyk is now the man everyone wants a shot at. One of the names making headlines is 20-year-old rising star Moses Itauma, who has taken the sport by storm with his rapid rise. His stunning first-round knockout of Dillian Whyte in under a minute shocked fans around the globe. But despite the buzz, Usyk's camp says the champion isn't rushing into anything. For now, he's focused on resting and will move forward.
You must have a view of what level you're at now.
If you want my honest opinion, I think
I do.
If my skill set, if you're talking about my ring IQ and what I display in the ring, I feel like I am the best in the world, but I haven't displayed the later rounds. That's all what I kind of want to get ticked off. So my next opponent or opponents this year, we're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
Usyk's win against Dubois, sealed with a fifth-round stoppage, added another chapter to his incredible career. At 38, the Ukrainian star has now cemented himself as a two-time undisputed champion. His camp, led by Sergey Lapin, made it clear that Usyk has earned the right to make his own decisions. After such a long, demanding journey to the top, they say he deserves the chance to heal old injuries, recharge, and spend time with his family before choosing what comes next.
Do you expect Joseph to get a shot at Usyk anytime soon?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, Joe's doing everything within his power. He was at Wembley, he got in the ring, he's done those famous call-out videos, and I don't know. I think it's probably 80% 22 against getting the fight with Usyk. But the WBO have ordered Joseph as the mandatory. Usyk has 30 days. That should be coming up soon. Should be coming to an end. And in that case, Joe will fight, either become the full champion or fight, which I would prefer, fight for the vacant title. And, you know, the winner of Saturday night could be the opponent in the opposite corner. You never know.
Where are you? Do you see that fight ever happening? Because I think that's one of the fights that Oleksandr Usyk shouldn't take, Moses Itauma. But I also don't think it's right for Moses at this moment in time.
Well, listen, let's start off with, Oleksandr Usyk is a fight where you get to a stage where you're in the twilight of your career, and he's probably going to have one more fight, if he has one more fight, and that's possibly this man here. But you go, like, at some point,
which, by the way, he's earned.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But at this, you know, when you've got the young kids coming through, it would be a disaster for Moses Itauma to take a fight against Oleksandr Usyk now, because you've got a kid that's going to potentially be, you know, the next dominant force of heavyweight boxing for maybe the next 10 years.
Let me ask you two boys about Moses. I mean, obviously, he's a competitor, he's a rival. He's the young one that's getting a lot of attention and blasting people out. You've just landed in the heavyweights, Lawrence. When you think of Moses Itauma, what do you think of?
I think of pretty much what everyone else is saying. Obviously, I've sparred him, I've seen him, and it's not fake. Like, it hasn't come from out of thin air. The guy's actually really good at boxing, I'll be honest with you.
Yep.
So we have to obviously wait and see how he does the rounds, see how it is under pressure of fight nights. But ultimately, from everything that I know of him, he's got a good mindset. And he is someone that, if I was just looking as a fan, I would get behind at this early stage, because to be 20 and doing the stuff that he's doing, like,
Meanwhile, the heavyweight scene is buzzing, largely because of the rise of Moses Itauma. At just 20 years old, Itauma has already shown explosive power and sharp accuracy in the ring. His destruction of former title contender Dillian Whyte in Saudi Arabia left fans stunned and confirmed his reputation as one of boxing's hottest prospects. That fight ended in seconds, giving Itauma his 9th straight stoppage when inside 2 rounds. It's a record that has quickly made him one of the most...
Do you want to see Moses Itauma with Oleksandr Usyk next, or too soon?
No, calm down. Let's get him in with Hrgovic, Caballel, those kind of guys, Bacoli, Jarrell Miller. Get the rounds, you know, but he's a brilliant...
From Dillian White, well, you've got to look at it. What's the next step after Dillian White?
I think a few more like that.
Yeah, but who is there? So you go with Dillian White, who does he go next? Joseph Parker? I just think they let him off the leash. He's not ready, don't get me wrong, he's not ready for Oleksandr Usyk in any way, shape or form. A man who hasn't been past 6 or 7 rounds cannot be ready for Oleksandr.
Naturally, Itauma's rapid rise has sparked calls for him to face top champions like Usyk. Itauma and his camp insist they're ready, but many voices in boxing are urging patience. Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas has spoken openly about the risks of putting the young fighter into a world title fight too soon. While he respects Itauma's talent and punching power, Atlas believes the 20-year-old still needs...
He's special. He's 20 years old. He's a good kid. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders, not just boxing-wise, but life-wise. Seems to have people around him in his life. He's got a great promoter in Frank Warren, but he sees everything. He knows where to go, where not to go. He doesn't waste anything. That's amazing for me, how this guy doesn't waste anything. Oh my God. He is well trained. Ben Davidson and his other coaches that were there before Ben Davidson, give them credit. They've taught this guy good technique. All the technique he's gonna need to go with that fabulous ability that God gave him, that his parents bequeathed on him in genetics. You can have all the ability in the world, but you have to have the technique to use it properly. He has that too. He's been taught really well.
Atlas explained that although Itauma has huge potential, jumping in with Usyk right now would be like taking on the hardest challenge without enough preparation. In his opinion, Itauma should keep building experience by facing other strong opponents first. That, he says, will prepare him better for the pressure and intent.
I would also wait on a Usyk fight. I know that Turki Alalshikh is talking about that, and that might come to pass with the money and everything else. But for me, if I'm with Moses, I'm saying let him get 1 or 2 more fights before we go to the top of Mount Everest. Let's climb a couple more peaks. Let's go. There's a mountain over there, and there's another one over there. Let's climb them, and then we're ready for the ultimate.
Carl Frock agrees with that view. He believes rushing Itauma into a fight with Usyk could end badly. Frock pointed out the wide gap in experience. Usyk has an Olympic gold medal, years of top-level competition, and a deep amateur career, while Itauma is just beginning his pro journey. Frock warned that putting Itauma in now could ruin his progress before he's fully ready, making it too risky of a fight.
Yeah, you can't rush Itauma. For me, if I'm managing Itauma, you're not chucking him straight in there with Usyk. Putting in an old veteran who's got hundreds of amateur and undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight title fights underneath him, chucking him with a 20-year-old young gun, because that could be the finishing of him, couldn't it?
His Excellency is a fan.
Yeah.
He's a fan, so therefore he wants what fans want. But he's not a coach, so therefore coach will say, no, this is best for the fighter. He's not the fighter, so he wants, he's in a position to try and get the dream fights. So, and you can't blame that, because he's doing what he does. The managers and the trainers have got to do what they do, protect the fight or let you fight off the leash. So,
yeah, but for us, then it's going to be a Hrgovic fight. It's a step up. Yeah. Have another look at him, see where he's going, and then build on from that. And maybe if Usyk's still around in a year or so, because he might be, because he loves the sport, and he's a trainer, he loves it. That might be a fight in 12 to 18 months. But for now, 20-year-old Moses Itauma with a performance like that, if he then steps in again and then steps up a little level against Hrgovic, because it would be a step up, demolishes him, it's going to be hard to match him up with anyone but a world champion. So we're going to see how the landscape changes and what opens up if a belt does become vacant.
How we can handle that responsibility. And so far, how we talked before, during, and after, there was no badness between him and Dylan in the Bilges fight. He was respectful. He said, you know what, I sent you a message when I was 14 years old to ask. spar with you. He was respectful and humble. I thought, I like that. And so it's just how he handles all this adulation, how he handles the business side around.
David Haye, however, has taken a much more positive outlook. He believes Itauma could be the successor to Lennox Lewis and maybe even surpass him as Britain's greatest heavyweight. Haye is convinced the young fighter has everything it takes to become a global star, though he admits it will take time for Itauma to reach his full potential. For now, Haye sees Itauma as a future world champion who just needs to be guided at the right.
Tyson Fury sparred enough rounds with Itauma to know what type of force he is, and he's tasted Usyk's power. He's got 24 rounds of action, so he knows both of them very well, and you got to take it seriously. If he says that, fair enough. All he's doing is diminishing, his value as he lost to Usyk, and if he says Moses is better than and is going to wreck Usyk, does that mean that Moses is better than him? Is that what he's saying? Because that's kind of what he's saying. And for him to say that, there's no reason for him to say he's getting no benefit or credit by saying that. If anything, he's diminishing his own attributes. So it's I get it. If I'd have mixed it in the ring with him and he had the power and everything that he showed us so far, those little highlights of him. If you think he's the man, and he's just got time to prove it.
Tyson Fury has also thrown his opinion into the mix with his usual confidence. The former heavyweight king boldly claimed that Itauma has what it takes to defeat Usyk. Fury said Itauma's time is coming and that the young Brit has the tools to dominate the next generation of heavyweights. His comments have only fueled speculation about a possible Usyk versus Itauma clash, with many fans calling it a passing of the torch.
I keep getting asked about young Moses Itauma fighting Oleksandr Usyk and fighting other big names. And my opinion is not someone who don't know boxing. My opinion is someone who has been there and won every single belt, won everything there is to win in boxing, and done very well. Boxing is a young man's game. Like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37, boxing's a young man's game and he waits for nobody. So here's the opinion, you've heard it here first. Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division. Usyk, AJ, Miller, whoever there is who's old, Zhang, whoever else there is, Luis Ortiz, all these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, if they took my belts and give them to Usyk, Moses will wreck him because he's a young man versus an old man. An old man can't mess.
Not everyone agrees with Fury. Amir Khan, who also became famous as a teenage boxing star, warned Itauma not to rush into such a massive fight. Khan advised him to take on opponents who can push him into later rounds, giving him the experience he needs. He cautioned that going straight after Usyk could hurt his long-term career and echoed others who feel the 20-year-old still needs more time before chasing a fight.
You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old. And that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning like this. I mean, if he'll keep on knocking them out, getting some good fighters, but not the world title level. I mean, what if he win the world title at 21, what's he going to do then? He can't go backwards, you know what I mean? So,
veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora, who has already shared the ring with Usyk, is also strongly against the idea. Chisora said Usyk's skills, speed, and ring IQ would be far too much for Itauma right now. He argued that taking on the champion would only expose Itauma's lack of experience and possibly slow his progress. In Chisora's view, the young fighter should build his career step by step, facing opponents who can...
When you look at the future for Itauma, what do you think about his next for him?
Next one, don't know. Depends with the paymasters. Where do you want to put him?
Okay, do you think Usyk's potential? Do you think there is a potential for him to fight Usyk?
Usyk could blow the smoke line. Usyk could kill him.
In the end, the debate around a possible Usyk versus Itauma fight highlights the challenges that come when young stars rise quickly. Itauma's knockout power and rapid climb have made him one of boxing's most exciting names, but the question of whether he's ready for someone as experienced as Usyk divides opinion. Some see him as a future champion, while others argue he needs more time before entering that level. As for Usyk, his focus is still on recovery, with his camp making it clear they won't be rushed. The WBO has already ordered him to face mandatory challenger Joseph Parker next, but Usyk has asked for extra time due to injury. For now, the boxing world is watching closely as both Usyk and Itauma weigh their next steps in what promises to be an exciting